What is going on, good people of YouTube? It is me, Chavez, back with another Prize Picks video for you. Today is still Tuesday, March 21st, 2023, and it is Taco Tuesday over on Prize Picks. Proof is on the page. During our first video, no tacos had been released, and now we have a taco, and it is Mikal Bridges, 20.5 points, a 4.5 point drop, and a 16% discount on that initial point prop. As always, I hope this video finds you all doing well and in good spirits. In this video, we will recap our two early picks from the early look video, and then I have two other picks that I want to share with you now. In typical Prize Picks fashion, one of these picks was removed from the board. Hopefully it gets put back up at the same line. Man, things move quickly. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So I mean, if you see a prop out there and you think it's a little too low and you've done your research, it's probably in your best interest to put it in a slip and lock it up. I can bet you 9 times out of 10 that pick is going to get bumped or get removed. If you find something that is too good to be true, probably is, lock it up while you can. So no injury updates right now. From what I can see, we did the recap in the early video, so let us just jump right on in to these two player props that I want to share with you today. First player prop I want to talk about is from the Orlando-Washington game. We're going back to this game, and I want to talk a little bit about Franz Wagner, and I want to talk about his points today. 17.5 points, and I want to tell you a little bit about why I like the more on this one. Pulling up Franz Wagner's 10-game log over on props.cash, we can see that Franz has hit this prop in 60% of his games. 18 over his last 10, 17 over his last 5. Two back-to-back games of 20 plus versus both LA teams. This looks good as is, right? But specifically against the Wizards, he has positive game history, and we always look for this. So scoring 28 and 20 in those two meetings this season. One was at home, and then the other one was on the road. Didn't matter because he hit this prop in both of those games. Now, this game is being played in Orlando, so let's pull up those home splits and take a look at what Franz has done at home over his last 10 games. Same percentage, so same hit rate, still a 60% hit rate. However, over his last 5 games at home, he's giving you 21 points. Compare that to the overall average where he's giving you 17 points. So there's a big difference there between his home and his home and overall. Points per game. Another thing to consider is Washington is down Kyle Kuzma, so one less big body on the floor to contest Wagner's shots, and that's a huge one right there. Scrolling down to the field goal attempts for Wagner, we can see that overall he's giving you roughly 14 shot attempts per game. Now at home, that increases slightly over his last 5 from 14 to 15. I mean, he took 25 shot attempts versus Washington at home in that first meeting back in December. 25. That's crazy. Jalen Suggs is also out for the Orlando Magic. So without Jalen Suggs on the floor this season, let's pull up those splits and just see what this looks like. So in 10 games with Suggs not on the floor, Wagner has scored over 22 points in those 5 and 10 games. His shot chart, his field goal attempts, slightly increased, 15 and 15. So guards, forwards, I don't know. You want to consider Franz like a wing, a shooting guard, but shooting guards in general have had tremendous success versus the Washington Wizards, this team. I mean, the first 4 names are from the same team. Fox, Monk, Davis, and Mitchell all hit their prop, and Rubio hit his prop. LeVert, Mitchell, Garland, Corey Joseph, Magruder, Killian Hayes hit his prop against the Washington Wizards. Jared Roden, DeAnthony Melton. Look, all these names. There are a lot of green checks here. So all this looks great. All in favor of Franz Wagner and his over on the 17.5 point prop versus the Washington Wizards. So, yeah, a lot of reasons to like this prop, but I just want to go back to a player that is starting to heat up. He did us right on Saturday, and I look for him to score 18 plus points tonight versus the Washington Wizards. Now, the second prop on the board, he's no longer on the board, actually. Malachi Branham, 13.5 points today versus the Pelicans. And I really like this prop, and it was taken away from us. So I actually like the over on his points today because of that injury news we talked about in our first look video. Yeah, so many. Oh, look at that. And his points got bumped up to 15.5. Now that is some bullshit. That is, wow. I mean, I'm gonna continue with the write up and everything because I put a lot of time into writing these up. So I'm still going to present this to you. Oh man, that's terrible because we had him at 13.5 points and now he got bumped up to a full 15.5 points. Wow. Okay, so Malachi Branham. Wow, I don't know. This kind of throws things off. I'm glad I caught it on video though. This is crazy. As we were talking about him, it actually adjusted for us. Malachi Branham, 15.5 points. I'm going to leave that blank for now. Let's head on over to props.cash and just pull up some info on this dude. So pulling up Branham's 10-game log, I might like this prop at 15.5 after I might talk myself into this one because there's still a lot to like about this prop. So let's look at his numbers with no changes, right? Giving you 11 points over his last 10 over his last 5, 7 versus New Orleans all the way back in December. Shots super low. I'm not gonna put too much stock into that. However, we covered this in the early look video. Tons of players are out for the San Antonio Spurs tonight. Zach Collins is out. Sohan is out. Vassell is out. Trey Jones is doubtful, more than likely out. You have all that to consider. Now let's go and check out what the game logs look like without Sohan and without Vassell. Now these two players are probably going to dig into Malachi Branham's production more than a Trey Jones would or Zach Collins. So look at what this looks like. Over 9 games played without those two guys on the floor. Branham is averaging roughly 18 points in 5 of those 9 games. Now there aren't 10 games, so there's no 10-game number here, but 9 games played without Vassell and Sohan on the floor at the same time. In the other games, that looks pretty bad, right? But let's look at the difference. You got late October and then you have March. The minutes, 19, 24, 26. Look how low his minutes were. Now let's adjust this line to 15.5 because that's where it is currently. Do we still like it at 15.5? Because 4 out of 9 games he's gone over this. If we want to be fair about it and say, let's just look at the games where Malachi Branham was playing, 30 minutes and up. Let's unfilter this and let's see the minutes over his last 5. It's giving you 25 minutes over his last 5 games, but it's hard to look at these numbers and try to narrow down specifics because you have so many injuries on this team right now. So while his last 5 games, he's giving you 25 minutes. I mean, we can definitely see 35 plus 38 minutes from him tonight just because there aren't many other options on this team. So going back up, let's filter out Sohan and Vassell. So in those games without these two guys, he's giving you 34 minutes. So 34 minutes, we can rule out this game, and this game. So those first 3 games, look at this. So now we're looking at a more fair sample size of 6 games played without these two dudes on the floor. Now let's filter this out to 15.5. 4 out of those 6 games he's gone over this prop. 15 still seems like a number he can hit, but boy, we really loved it at 13.5. So for now, let's go with the more. I talked myself into it. More than 15.5 points for Malachi Branham, and the more on Franz Wagner's 17.5 points. I don't know how you all feel about this Mikal Bridges taco, but I liked it at 24.5. I love it at 20.5. But this, honestly, I don't know if you were able to catch this, but this was another example of when you see a prop that's obviously, out of line, to jump on it, because for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes this morning, Mikal Bridges' first half points were at 11.5, and his full game points were at 24.5, and it got bumped up to 12.5. So it's kind of cool to see his taco at 20.5. That's more in alignment with where his first half points were at 11.5. But if you were able to get his first half points at 11.5, and you can get a taco at 20.5, those are some heavy discounted props for Mikal Bridges. So that's what we got going on. So, man, I wish, I could definitely say I should have posted this video sooner, but you never know, and you want to give it time for the board to materialize and for props to be put on the board. But when you do that, you also risk the chance of certain props that are already on the board being bumped. Like I said earlier, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, So you take what you can get, and definitely if you see a prop that's too low, or you feel is too low, don't wait around. More than likely, Prizepicks is already on top of that, and they're going to adjust it right before your very eyes. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. So, recapping these two plays that we like, Franz and Malachi Branham, both over their points prop. We pull up our props from this morning's video. We liked Gafford over his full game prop at 8.5 points. And then we also really like the over on Jason Tatum's 4.5 assists. Got bumped up to 5. All right, there you go. So if you got it in at 4, good on you. So right now, we got a nice little 5. We got a nice little 5 pick flex here. You got one more play up your sleeve that you want to add to this one, and you can throw that into a 6 pick flex. Take advantage of that low prop from Mikal Bridges. There you go. All right. Appreciate you stopping by the channel, checking this video out. Let me know what you think about these picks, not just these picks, but the two player props we talked about earlier this morning. So altogether, we got Branham, Wagner, Gafford all over points, Jason Tatum over his assists. Those are your 4 props that we talked about today. Obviously, you can throw that Mikal Bridges in there, as it's a pretty nice point discount for his points. Let me know what you think about these props. Let me know what you think about the board as is. Do you like this taco right now? Who are you playing tonight? Let me know all that in the comments below. And as always, thank you so much for all the continued support, the likes, the subs, all the comments. Means a ton in helping this channel get a bit bigger every single day. Do me a huge favor on your way out, if you haven't done so already. Hit that like, that sub button, drop a comment, and yeah, click that notification icon to be notified of all upcoming content from me and this channel. And until tomorrow's early look and research video, best of luck to you all, and Chavez is